Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Lavenia, and I'm really excited to be sharing with you a nice panel today of a few of my favorite people that I've gotten to know and I've gotten to work with over the last decade plus. Some really, really interesting and different personalities, all of which have taken their businesses online successfully. Okay, they've done that successfully, and they've done it through using a variety of traffic and conversion strategies that are little known in the traditional business world. So what I want to give you tonight is some nice value as we're leading up to our launch of the Internet Traffic Formula, which is going to be a major release here in the internet marketing world. And I do want to urge our guests, if you're watching for the first time and you've never met myself or these other people before, I do want to urge you to consider how some of these ideas may apply to your current existing business if you already have one, okay? Because what we're going to be talking about are concepts and strategies and tactics that are universally applied to grow any sort of a business. And in my own experience, I found as an author, as a person who's been around the sales and marketing world for a while, as a person, I even had experience in the music business, what I found no matter where I went in my entrepreneurial life and my entrepreneurial career, sales and marketing were always the most valuable skills, okay? And it was the most profitable thing for me to learn and discover. And with some of the things that you're going to be learning from our friends here today, I've been able to make millions of dollars. It's been really great. Sometimes it was easier than others, so I'll just put that disclaimer out there, okay? There's different ways to approach this. My hope for you is that you get not only a lot of value here tonight, but you find some things that you could take and implement immediately into what you're doing now. And if you don't currently have a business and you're an aspiring entrepreneur, we also have solutions for that as well. Topic for a different time, but right now I want to introduce our first panelist here tonight, which is actually this first case study is pretty interesting because it's a couple who I've had the pleasure to get to know for some years now, Karla and Don Silver. Now, they've both got backgrounds in the traditional business world. Don's been very involved in tech, computer tech, that sort of a thing, which, by the way, is very, very different than computer or internet marketing. Okay, tech and marketing, two completely different worlds. Okay, Karla also has a lot of experience. She's also an author. She co-authored a book with none other than Brian Tracy recently. She's on the bestseller list. She's got a lot of experience in phone sales. Okay, so when we talk about sales and marketing, there's actually a distinction there. Okay, one of the best ways to leverage yourself is by transitioning from just trying to make sales into crafting marketing assets that sort of duplicate your sales efforts without you even being there. Karla was one of those phone slaves all the time, and she found that there was a smarter way. So Karla and Don Silver, welcome, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and what happened to have you successfully go online with your business efforts.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. I really appreciate it. Just want to make sure you can see me okay.
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear.
All right, awesome. You make me feel way more important than I am. So thank you for that. Yes, I have a long career in telephone sales because that's just how it's been done for eons and eons and eons, 20 years in corporate America, working my way up the food chain there. And, of course, you either got on the phone with somebody or you went and drove to their place of business or you went and got on a plane and went to their place of business. And as we all know, that business model has changed dramatically. But it didn't change dramatically for me and my beautiful husband, Don, until very recently. Don, chime in here for a little bit, and then I'm going to talk specifically about how that change happened for us.
You know, it's very interesting because I come from a technical background, and I learned quite quickly doing that the techie guy was the guy that was in demand and the last one to get paid and the least amount, and it was the marketers and the salespeople that made the most money. So when we got together, you know, I kind of shifted. Now I'm a recovering techie. I don't do that anymore. But we found marketing and, you know, talking to more people through electronic means gives us the best reach and makes us the best return now because of the things that we've learned and the things we have applied to our business. that's that's the best for you to explain that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So really what I want to do tonight, both Don and I want to give you some really great concrete value of how we transformed. It was just a short year ago where I was on the phone 4 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, building my business. And I had actually been doing that for 30 years. For 20 of those years, I was building somebody else's business. And for the past 10 years, I had been building my own business. And you're limited, right? You're limited by how much you can actually talk on the phone to build your business. And if that's how you're building your business, how are you serving your customers, right? So whether you're a plumber, an attorney, you have a jewelry business, you're a restaurant, you're always looking for ways to build your business. But as a business owner, you also want to give value. So one of the things that I discovered, and I want to talk about here tonight, is really how the online sales process works. And we typically call that a sales funnel, just so that we're okay with the lingo. But it's really just, how does the online sales process work? So to do that, I do have to share my screen. I've got a couple quick real quick slides that I want to share with you, if I can get them on here. Hold on one second. This is going to be so simple. Honestly, this isn't complicated, but I just want to give you a general overview about how the online sales process works. So we all know that we buy stuff online, right? Everything is sold online. And Bill Gates said it best. He said this a couple of years ago. He said, if you're not already your business isn't online already, you are going out of business. And we're all doing this, right? If you are looking for a car, where do you go first, right? You go and you research. You might go to the Toyota dealership, or you might go to AutoNation or Auto Trader, but that's where you're going to go first. When you're looking for a new camera, when you're looking to make reservations for a restaurant, right? You're going online. When you buy books, you buy your kids' education. When you buy gifts, electronics. I could go on and on and on and on, right? You name it, you buy it online. So how does this work? And I know that 100% of you on this line have probably bought a lot of things online, but you might not have thought about how it works and how you might be able to apply it to your business. So when you think about it, if you want to buy something, typically the first place somebody goes is they go to a search engine. Maybe they'll go to Google. Maybe they'll go to that Toyota website. Maybe if they're looking for a restaurant, they'll go to Yelp or OpenTable or Zagat. There are all kinds of websites that people know about to go and look and search. And I'm going out to dinner tonight, and I'm in a new city. Highly likely for me that I'm going to go to Yelp, right? And I'm going to go and find some place and find some information. Well, maybe you find it and you buy it. Maybe you find something that's interesting. I saw something online recently. I thought, that's pretty cool. But I don't know, maybe I'm not ready to buy it yet. But then I did, right? Or maybe you see something, you see a website online and you think, that's kind of cool. This guy's giving a course on how to use meditation to lose weight, or fill in the blank, right? You watch a little video and then you think about whether or not that's something that you want to do, and then you buy it or you don't. But really, what's the difference then between online business and offline business? And how can you, as a business owner or a regular person that maybe is selling jewelry or coffee cups or televisions, or maybe you're a network marketer, or you fill in the blank, how can you capitalize this? So think about how it works offline, right? You go into a store and you may or may not buy. Now, I'll give you a quick example. I've been looking to buy a pair of sunglasses for a really long time. I have no idea why I haven't pulled the trigger and purchased these sunglasses, but I haven't bought them. I've been in sunglasses in countries all over in sunglass stores in countries all over the world. I've been in sunglasses stores in my hometown. I just go in, and for some reason, whether they didn't have a model that I liked or the salesperson, whatever, right? You go into a store and you may or may not buy something. But what if that store automatically got the information, like maybe my email address, and they saw that I was looking at Persol sunglasses or Gucci sunglasses, fill in the blank, whatever, right? They got that information, and then they could send me correspondence, whether in the offline world it might come in the form of a postcard or a phone call or an email. What if they could continually contact me with appropriate information that identified me with that store, and when I was finally ready to buy those Persol sunglasses or Prada, whatever, the sunglasses, what if I had already been on their list? They have been corresponding with me. They have a sale on exactly the same the thing that I wanted, and I trusted them with their advice because they had been building a relationship with me over time. That happens offline super infrequently. So I want to talk right now about how it actually works online. So let me share a different screen.
By the way, Karla, that's been my experience as well. Quite often, and I think a lot of our guests can relate, people are not necessarily ready to buy on first contact. I know for myself, for doing a lot of research in the online marketing world and having experienced this myself, that the average person, even though they may be interested in a certain product, service, opportunity, whatever, it's very, very small percentage are going to purchase on first contact. So to be able to get people into what's called the sales funnel, as you're calling it, to continue to communicate with them so that when they are ready, they're predisposed and pre-motivated to buying from you. It's a very, very smart strategy. So back to you, Karla.
Well, and that frankly is the super cool thing about advertising and learning marketing on the internet, and just plain learning how this process works. It actually transformed our business because Don and I built our business, as I mentioned before, on the phone. So when I understood how an online sales process or funnel works, I understood there was just a couple things that I knew that I didn't know that I could learn to transform the state of my business. So we have a website here. Let's just say this is a plumber's website. It's a network marketer's website. It's a speaker coach's website. It is fill in the blank, right? It's a business website. Well, all that website needs to do, if let's say you're a plumber, right? You're a plumber and you want to establish some trust with your potential prospect, and you want to get them to call you, right? You'd have a phone number here. Or if you want them to request an appointment, you have a place for them to, and I'm sorry for the beautiful drawing, but I think you guys can understand when I say request for an appointment. Or if you're a speaker coach and you want them, you've got some information about you, and you say, hey, I'll give you my treatise on how to be the best speaker in the world if you give me your email address, right? Because a website serves a purpose, right? For an attorney, it allows them to develop credibility. It also has their phone number because that's where they want to be able to talk to people. And then the result of someone being at that and on that page, let's just say this is Amazon.com, right? Because this works for every website in the world. You go to the front of Amazon.com, you say, I want to buy a book. I want to buy the latest James Patterson book. So you search on the front of Amazon, and you come up with the James Patterson book, a little blurb about it, and an instant buy now button, right? Because they already have your information. Or if you want to buy it, they're going to get your information, and guess what? They make a sale, right? They make a sale. They've also at the same time grabbed your information and put your information into a list. So this would be Amazon's list. Sorry guys, I have a crappy cursor, but I hope it makes sense, right? All internet commerce is a variation of the same thing. A website with something to sell or something that they want that person to do, whether it's book an appointment, call them up, whatever. Another page that sells the product even more, maybe with a video, and then a way for them to capture information in an email list where they can correspond with you over time. We've all done this. We've done this on Amazon. We've done this on Nordstroms.com. We've done this all over the internet. So it's a very, very simple way to understand, and this is why we call it a funnel. And guys know this. I know this is not a martini glass, right? But this is a sales funnel where you have a website. Some people drop all the way through and buy something right away. You knew you wanted that James Patterson book from Amazon.com, so you went to Amazon and you bought it. But maybe you're at the decision-making process for buying a car, and you went to Autotrader.com, and you looked at a couple of, maybe a Toyota and a used car and a BMW. Well, Autotrader.com has you on their list, which is just this piece of the funnel, right? They have you on their list, and they get to say, hey, we've got that BMW X5, we have another one in the color you liked, and they can send you emails and correspond with you and correspond with you and correspond with you. So the sales process online is uniform with very, very, very little variations. And once I understood this process and my ugly writing, right, to sale, Don and I could build a sales process or sales funnel for our business. But the key is, okay, you have a website, right? Whether it's a blog, or you're selling jewelry, or you're an attorney, or you're a manicurist, you name it, right? 100% of the businesses that I've ever run across ever required to be online and have some sort of website where they can have people at the very least know where they are and get in touch with them. But here's the trick, right? So I'm on the phone all day long in my prior business, right, at calling people, sometimes calling people cold, right, as you do in corporate America. You do make lots of cold calls. But what if you could not have just 10 people looking at your business or 100 people looking at your business, but maybe thousands of people looking at your product every single day? And that's called learning how to drive internet traffic of people that are already interested in what you have to your website. And that's all we did. We learned how to drive internet traffic to our website. People found what we had and they bought. And we got, ladies and gentlemen, we had the opportunity to hang up the phone, and as other people in our organization who you'll meet later, we got to put down the phone and pick up the paycheck. Our big takeaway for us was that we stopped talking on the phone, which we could only talk to, how many people can you talk to a day? And we ended up putting our business in front of thousands of people a day. And guess what that does for your business, right? So back to you, John. Any questions if you have any?
That's beautiful, Karla. I personally know that because I was also on the phone for years, okay, and I know your background, you and Don both. This is the voice of experience, my friends. I mean, that's what we're hearing. You know, these are people that have done traditional business, they've done the tech, now they're doing the online stuff, and they do it in a way that frees up their time. Because I think that's why we're all entrepreneurs in the first place, right? Because we wanted freedom and to not have to just, answer to a boss at a job. I know the last time I worked a job was well over a decade ago, and I feel like my life started when I quit that last job and got into full-time entrepreneurship. And the strategy that Karla just laid out is one of the most fundamental strategies for once you start marketing your business online. Don, anything to add to that before we go on to our next expert panelists here today.
No, I think that, the real gist of it is that, there's thousands of people receiving email communications from us. The system automatically does our work for us. That's the essence of marketing. Let's move on.
Beautiful stuff. Thanks, you guys, and we know we'll be hearing more from you as we go through the Internet Traffic Formula free video series that's going to be coming out starting Monday, March 24th. So.